Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Kevin.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. We're not alone.
Yay! We have two of our bestest friends with us.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce them?
Go ahead.
Guys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Jack.
I'm Katherine.
Is
Jack
that all you
and
want?
Katherine.
I'm married to Jack.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes, that is a good thing.
He looks like a mighty eligible bachelor. Well, man.
Yeah.
No,
It's
he
a good
said
thing
that
you got
a
him.
Good,
Good
yeah.
thing you got
Good
him.
thing. Yes.
Good thing you got him. And actually, it was just your anniversary, right?
Yesterday,
Okay, so how many years? I can't remember.
Oh, put her on the spot.
13. We were married 13. We've been together 18.
Okay, because I was going to say, I thought you said 18.
We've been together 18, yes.
Nice.
Because I was afraid to get married.
Really? Tell us about that.
There's nothing to tell.
Oh, there's a lot to tell.
All right, then tell us about that, Katherine.
So I'm the one that asked Jack out. We went out on a date and we hit it off, and then
We didn't just go out on a date. So there's backstory. You got to start with the whole backstory.
Oh, go ahead.
So we met in prison, and it's true.
we didn't live there.
They got out, though. They're good now. They've paid their debt.
So she was married when I first met her, and that's it. She was married, and I was
Hold on a
divorced for
second.
little while.
So,
It's a whole
she
story.
was
Are you
married
sure you
and
wanna
in
spend this-
prison?
Yes. Yep. She was married and in prison, and I was divorced
pregnant.
in prison.
she was
Yes.
married, pregnant, and in prison.
Yes.
And I was divorced and in prison.
But can we tell everybody that you weren't actually in prison?
No, I was a prison guard. Yeah.
Prison guard.
We both
Okay,
worked there.
Just wanted to clarify that. Continue.
Yeah. So I started working on. So the jail we worked at was split into two sides, and I worked on. She actually worked on my side because I was there first, and we met, and then she left because she was pregnant. And then when she came back, we kind of became friends, but she was married, and I was recently divorced, so I have zero tolerance for that kind of stuff,
Right.
that kind of infidelity stuff. So we were just friends talking.
I wasn't interested in anything like
Correct.
that.
Yes.
Just for the record.
And when
Correct.
you say talking, it's not what the kids mean today when they say, "Oh, we're talking."
Oh heck no! Yeah,
No.
you just
no.
meant like actually,
Yeah,
"Hi,
she'd have to
how
walk through
are
my
you?"
area. Yeah, she'd have
You
to
know,
walk through my
like
area.
our daughters, they say the word talking.
I have
They
no
mean
idea what
something
that
else.
means.
I know you don't know that.
I've asked them what that means, and they can't tell me what that means. So I really don't know.
Talking has a different meaning nowadays.
Yeah, no, she would just walk through my area, and we'd say hi and stuff like that. I don't know how long that lasted. Then I got promoted, and I left, and I walked around the jail, and I had been at the jail from '98 to 2005, and had quite a few friends. The day I was leaving to get promoted, I walked around the jail and said goodbye to a bunch of people. There's only one person I kissed on the cheek, and it was her.
Oh, I thought it was another guy.
No, it was her.
Okay.
There's a story behind that too. So then I was gone for about 26 months. Had to go back downstate to Sing Sing, all this stuff. Come back, now she's divorced.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
It's the plot thickens.
Yes. Yes. So we became friends again, but we worked on different shifts, right? Mm-hmm. Became friends again, but we worked on different shifts. And one day she asked me out, and I had a crush on her. She was hot. She was hot. So
Now you might have to turn your chair because everybody is missing you blushing.
right.
I'm so embarrassed. Whenever he says that, I just get so embarrassed.
Yes. Yeah. So she was divorced, and I didn't know. She kind of liked me too. So she asked me out, and we went out to lunch, but to keep it looking respectable, she brought like two friends.
I had chaperones.
She had
I
chaperones.
did that with you.
Yeah.
No, just
I did.
So let's see. After that, we started dating, and it was really secret, quiet, because that's just I'm at work. I'm
Right.
and when you're working around a bunch of crooks, you don't really want people knowing what's going on in your outside life. So
And
we
you
kept it really
still
really
work
quiet.
together.
Same place. We didn't really work together, but with the same place. She was a civilian, and I was an officer.
We didn't associate at work.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. And then
So then fast forward, we were like dating forever because he was too scared to ask me to marry him.
yep.
And did you feel frustrated that you were dating forever?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I bought her a house. Right? So we started dating.
So the house before the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
The house before the ring.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So that was 2000 so we started dating right around 2007,
6.
2006, and I bought the house in 2010, 11, the end of 2010, 2011. And I was out mountain biking, and I lived in Buffalo my whole life. I didn't really want to move out to Gowanda. Who wants to live in Gowanda?
This is a great story about God.
Yeah, yes.
This is fantastic.
And this is so, I guess the people out there need to know that I did not believe in Jesus, didn't even understand Jesus was real at this time. But this is how he works in your life, even if you don't understand it. So I was out, don't start crying. I was out mountain biking with a buddy. We're driving down some road, and I was talking about buying a house in Gowanda because I wanted to move in with Katherine. And he's like, oh, that house is for sale. So we pull in. Long story short, I end up buying this particular house and surprise her with it. And the day I go to surprise her with it, she's like crying. Like, I don't even know what's going on here.
Well, first of all, that's a big surprise. Like a house isn't like a normal surprise.
Yeah, well, I'm not a normal person.
Okay, true.
He really isn't, because he bought it in that particular area so that my children could be close to their dad.
Oh,
Right. And moving me away from Buffalo, where I've been born and raised, and I actually love Buffalo. I mean, I did not want to move to Gowanda, but I knew my son, when I got divorced, I lived about 4 miles from him, where his mother's house. So whenever I wanted to see him, I was right there. I always,
Right.
I spent a lot of time with him, and I wanted that for her kids. I didn't want, because I kind of figured her ex-husband wouldn't make the travel to Buffalo to see his kids as much. And I thought if I kept them in their school and kept things normal for them, it would make their transition moving in with me a little easier.
yeah.
So
we just told, our daughter just got married in September, and we just told them that that's why we had that house in Gowanda. That's what Jack did. And they were really touched by that.
yeah, and actually her ex-husband that night came up and thanked me
Oh,
because he didn't know. He didn't know that's why I did that. But
Yeah, that was really special. But so Jack goes to buy this house, has no idea anything about this house. I had always driven by this house and loved it. Loved it for years. I would drive by and I would imagine what it was like to live there and raise a family there. And it was so pretty, and it sat down in this little area, and the yard was gorgeous. And I just always drove by and just really loved that house. He had no idea.
it was the house
That's
of her dreams.
crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
man of her dreams, house of her dreams.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I do.
Total package.
Yes, God, and I always feel like God really gives you, the desires of your heart, and He knows how to give good gifts to His children. I mean, Jack had no idea I loved that house. It was so special.
That's a super sweet story.
But still, when we moved into that house, we were still dating, and it was hard. Jack wasn't saved.
And were you saved?
Yes. I grew up in a Christian home, so it was hard. And then it took him a long time to commit to marriage, and that was a tough wait.
Yeah. So there's a story behind the engagement ring too. So we lived there for a long time, and I was really a jerk. So I had been in prison for a long, long time, working in prison. I was just kind of mean and nasty. I wasn't violent at home or anything like that. I was just kind of cold. Does that make sense? Does that describe the way I was?
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
Angry.
be honest. I can't tell you how you felt about the way I was.
There were times when I would have to tell Jack that we weren't inmates. We're the people that you love, and he would often be like just very harsh. But I knew, and one of the reasons why I picked him is because I knew he had a softness on the inside, and he was harsh. The only reasons why he was harsh was because of some of the hurt and the experiences that he had. So I knew there was like a little soft sweet potato in there.
Oh,
So one time in couples group, you had mentioned something about the baggage we bring to relationships.
Yeah.
Katherine and I both brought like tractor trailer loads. Like we were both a mess, but it worked. Super strong personalities, and it worked. I mean, I don't think anybody could have handled her, and I don't think anybody else could have put up with me.
Almost like God put us together.
Yeah, right.
Like pieces of a puzzle.
Yeah.
I never would have believed this until after being saved. I reflect now that so I got saved 15 months ago, is when I was baptized. It actually started before that. We were in Alpha, and that's when I realized one day we were in there Alpha with
So Alpha is a group at church for new believers.
correct kindergarten for Christians. That's
There you
what I
go.
There you
call it.
go.
Yep,
I love
yep,
that.
Yep. So we went together. We I think what did we attend there? I think that's kind of important. So she was looking up self-defense classes online and found Life Church Buffalo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, that's logical. You know,
Yeah.
self-defense, the church.
It was the Facebook
It's an
algorithms.
armor of God. I mean,
Yes.
it worked.
strange.
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah, yeah. So she asked if I wanted to go, and I'm like, yeah. We watched her brother. Her brother's a pastor in Maryland, so we watched him online during that whole COVID stuff. She asked if I wanted to go. I'm like, yeah, let's go. We had tried a couple churches that just didn't fit.
so were you looking, or what? What was the because you didn't know Jesus yet? So what was the reason you started going to church?
She wanted to go,
Okay.
and she's hot. It all goes back to that. I never
I'm blushing
expected. I never expected us to be together. I never expected that. Never. I thought she was way out of my league. I really did. I did not. Never in a million years. I never thought we'd be together, even though I had a crush on her. So we come to Life Church Buffalo, and then it was like the first day we walked in there was amazing, just amazing. I was like, wow, this place is cool. We're coming back. It was cool. But it was October of 2023 or 2022
Of what? Of when we started
when we
there?
started. I think it was 2022.
23, I think.
This is the second year.
Yeah. So 23.
Yeah. So there were so many people there. We didn't go for Christmas. It was just too much. We kind of stayed home and watched. We were like dabbling with the church in Maryland on TV and Life Church because there was just so many people, and both of us do not like crowds. Didn't like crowds. We're very
Hide in the back type
yes
people.
Yes.
Actually, funny story.
Yeah.
I actually did that literally when we were at Life Church Buffalo. We went to a Tuesday night prayer group because we were trying to get involved, but we were still shy and awkward and didn't know what to do. So they broke us up into small groups, and like for an introvert, that's like death. You might as well just kill me. So we had to break up into small groups, and I literally scooted and hid behind Jack.
Behind me, and like listen, I don't want to be here either. And she wanted to do this, and we stand up, and I'm at first I got to get her up out of the chair. She won't even get up out of the chair. And then when I get her up out of the chair, we're going to our small group. She's hiding behind me, and these people are like, "Hey, you got to pray for us." I'm like, "Wait, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here."
Literally hid behind him.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
But we don't do that anymore. That was
Yeah.
just our beginning experience.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm still not big on praying in public, but
But I hear God's working on you in that.
he is. I've had several. Well, I've probably had 3 times where I've had to do it,
Yeah.
and it just happened, and I did it, and I'm still alive.
You're here to
There
talk
you
about
go.
it.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
So back when we were watching church online, there's a little bit of a backstory behind that as well, because I was saved and Jack wasn't. And I went through this phase where, some of us do this, well, I need to change him. And, and God really had a talk with me about taking the log out of my own eye. So it wasn't until I started working on myself that I actually saw a change in Jack. And on Sundays, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to talk to him about going to church. I'm just going to let God, can't do God's job for him. So I would come down on Sundays and he would be putting on Charles Stanley and putting on church on TV and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is great. But I didn't dare talk to him about it because I felt like that he would shrink back a little bit. So I just let him do. He would pick out whatever sermon he wanted to watch and stuff like that. And then gradually, after a while of doing that, we talked about going to a church, and we started attending a couple to see what we liked and what we didn't like. And then we eventually found Life Church Buffalo that we were both comfortable with. But it was a very long process. And it was hard for me because I'd been saved most of my life to just kind of sit back and wait for God.
Right. And those years, so before we actually get into you getting saved, those years between Gowanda and Life Church Buffalo, you've said you don't know how she put up with you.
I'm getting all emotional. Yeah, because it was a long time. So,
But he didn't feel that then.
Yeah.
He didn't know there was any.
I didn't know. I
Right.
didn't understand any of it. So Gowanda was from 10 to 20 something. I didn't find out God was real, that Jesus was a real dude until Alpha at Life Church, and that was 20. I was 58 years old, so it was about a year and a half.
That's
2 years
10 years in there.
Yeah. And so we were in Alpha, and Dave and Michelle were teaching the class, and Dave says it like 3 times that Jesus was a real dude. And I'm thinking, wait, what's going on here? I don't even understand what's going on here. I thought it was just like a mythical thing, kind of like Santa Claus. And when I tell people that, they kind of laugh. But I was raised Catholic, and we pulled out of church right around the same time. So I was probably in my single digits, 9, 10, 11 years old, something like that. So you stop believing in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all that stuff around the same time. We stopped going to church. I thought praying and that stuff was just like what
Gotcha.
you do. I'm Polish and Italian, and that's just what you do.
Like a tradition.
Yeah. Yep. I did not know it was real.
Okay.
So in that class, we're taking Alpha, and David said it 3 times, and the dude on the TV said it 3 times. And I'm like, wait, he was real? And Dave's like, yeah, he was real. I'm like, no, wait, what? I didn't understand it at all. It was a huge thing. And the whole time we were in class, David kept saying, do you want to get baptized? Well, I was baptized when I was a kid. Why do I need to get baptized? And then I went to go see one of my closest friends. He's still alive. We worked together back in 1990. We became friends back in 1990. And he's very Catholic. And I talked to him about getting baptized. And he said something about, why would you turn your back on your religion? And it really hit me hard.
Wow.
I ended the conversation, and I was not going to get baptized. But David kept kind of pestering me, not on purpose. He wasn't pestering, but he knew, he could see that I wanted it. So there's a story behind that too. I don't know if you want me to go there, or you want me to tell about the engagement story, because we have stories. We have so many stories.
God has worked, done so many things. It's so hard to pick out something and say.
Yeah. So we'll stick with that. So it was April 20 something. And the week before that, Monday or Tuesday, I was just sitting in my chair, and I just signed up. I'm thinking that was Tuesday. It must have been Tuesday into Wednesday. I signed up on Wednesday, and the lady calls me. I sign up Tuesday night. The lady calls me Wednesday and starts asking me all these questions about being baptized. And it pissed me off because I'm still Jack down deep. I'm still me, prison guard. And I'm like, I didn't understand. I'm like, why are you asking me all these questions? Dude next to him said, just remember me, and he was brought to heaven. And you're grilling me, asking me if I was really mad. So at the end of our conversation, she's like, you got to talk to a pastor. I'm like, wait, I got to go to level 2 arbitration just to get baptized? What is this? Now I'm really angry, and I'm not going to do it. So at that time, I'm already volunteering. I'm already serving at the church, and I'm cleaning the bathrooms. And I do that. I've been doing that ever since. But anyways, so Pastor Lauren comes in, and Pastor Lauren and I are talking, and I'm pretty much arguing with Pastor Lauren. I'm still mad. I don't understand why I'm mad.
In the bathrooms?
No, we are actually by the sink. So
Okay.
it's either by the slop sink in the back, in kids' life, or in the bathrooms. It's usually where all my major decisions are made. It's kind of weird, but that's what happens.
It's
so
so
the
true.
truth.
It's
Okay.
so true.
Yeah. So I'm kind of arguing with Pastor Lauren, and like all of a sudden I just realized while I'm talking to Pastor Lauren, I have to realize, I realize that, I want to follow Jesus. I believe Jesus was alive. I believe in Jesus, and I want to follow Jesus, and I want to get baptized.
Wow.
So Lauren's like, yeah, all right, cool. I mean, it was that simple. But I was so angry. Reflecting back now, I know when I decided to be baptized, it was the enemy working hard to get me to stop. And he almost had me again. He almost had me back. And it's happened to us so many times, things like that. So I get baptized, right? I get baptized.
Yes, you got baptized.
Yep. And then what happens to us? Like our whole life just goes down the crapper. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So like I'm a new Christian baptized. All of a sudden she's losing earrings, 2 diamond earrings, 2 different sets that we paid a lot of money for. And the house is falling apart and I'm purging money. And this lasted for like a month. What else happened? Something else happened.
sprained my ankle.
Sprained your ankle. Yeah, it was like every time we turned around, something bad was happening.
And he got mad at me because I kind of laughed and I was like, devil, that's all you got? These are
Yeah.
just things.
Yeah.
And then he told me not to do that anymore because
Yeah, so she's taunting him. Yeah, she's like, I'm like, this dude's been doing this stuff for thousands of years and you're pulling on his ponytail. It's just not cool, right? It's not cool.
just things. It's just money. We'll get
Yeah.
through it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's funny because the first time we met you guys was right after XO that year, and David and Michelle introduced us on the Sunday after XO,
And EXO is
the marriage
couples
conference at church.
conference at church.
Yeah. So then the only time I ever went to Resolve, the men's group, was the week after Jack was baptized, and Jack told the story of all he went through and how and everything else. And it was really crazy. It was the only time I went there. And then they ended up in our couples group and have been there ever since.
Ever since. Yeah.
And that same night, I went to the women's group and I saw you and I was like, oh, I love her. She's so beautiful. But she never said anything to me.
Yeah, that
I
was
was still-
the first time we met them.
So
Well,
part of my story is the change that God did in me while I came to Life Church Buffalo. So I was very much an introvert, anxiety, filled with fear and anxiety all the time, every single day. And every single day, all day.
And was life before that hard in that time, you being a believer and married to an unbeliever? Like, I know you said you gave it to God, but before you two walked into the church together and before that period of watching church online, in that time period, what was life like for you?
It was hard. I'm not going to say it was easy. It was hard because there was a part of inside of me where I knew life should be different. And it was almost like a part was missing a little bit. But in that gap, that it was, Jack always says I prayed for him for 18 years. I didn't always pray for Jack. I did pray for Jack at times, but there was always a hope. I always had a hope that things would be different and that, he would realize God was chasing after his heart. And it was actually before we started going to Life Church Buffalo, I was outside praying one day, and I told God that I would die to see Jack know God. And then I was like, oh, wait, Jesus already did that. And it was, I would have done anything. And then along comes this miraculous change, and it is far better than anything I could have ever hoped for. It is absolutely so amazing, the change that God is doing in him. But in that 10-year time span, I tried to focus a lot on the reasons why I married Jack. He's a great person. His inside is filled with love, and he's so sweet and soft, and he's got all these great qualities. So while I was waiting, we were having fun and doing things, and there's an enjoyment there, and you have to kind of enjoy the journey to where
That's good.
instead of criticizing or because I've done that too, and that doesn't really take you to a good place.
I think 2 things in what you just said. Number one, you said when you were out there praying, you realized that you couldn't do it. You couldn't take God's place. And I don't think that's what you're trying to do, but you realize that God's got this. He's already taken care of this. I don't have to worry about this. But then the other thing that a lot of people do miss, it's like you get so frustrated because you're not in the same place. And maybe you are believers and you're not in the same place, or maybe one is and one isn't. But we get frustrated because the other person's not right by my side. And there's very few times that we're actually at the exact same place.
spot.
But we need to enjoy those times. And you know what? Sometimes she's going to be ahead of me and sometimes I'm going to be ahead of her. But when we're doing it together, then that's what makes the difference. And it sounds like even in that time that I mean, Jack was working in God and working on God. I mean, we've heard a lot of the stories, and he didn't even know it at the time. But when you look back, it's all right there. But all that also, like doing the stuff together and enjoying and building that relationship and building the love you have for him and showing him that, hey, there's love here. It's okay to be loved. It's okay to be loved. Like that's
Also,
the groundwork, I think.
I think it speaks a lot to the waiting, right? Like, I think that's people's biggest struggle is how to get through that waiting in the wilderness. And we work through the waiting and we live through the waiting, and things don't stop. So, that was really good. That I like that you said that Jesus already died and you gave it to him.
There was a lot of times, especially when we were still dating and Jack didn't want to commit and he had a hard time with that, where I thought, I don't know if this is going to actually work. I mean, I honestly, I don't know. And there was just something that held me. And I'm like, Jack's a good man. He's a good man. I mean, one of the biggest qualities I love about him is that he's funny. And he's funny every single day. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it tries. If he tries, it's just... He's just always makes me laugh, and he's so funny. And that was so helpful in a lot of the times when we were going through some rough things, and he has a great sense of humor.
So she was laughing at you, Jack.
That's
what I got out of this. She was, you're all upset. She's laughing. She's like, haha, Jack.
Yeah. What brought us to Orchard Park? So I retired. I had spent 28 years working, and when I retired, it was more than half my life I had spent in prison, and I don't know if honed is the right word, but I had developed the skills to do that job. I was really good at it. And when I retired, there were certain times when I was working, I would be responsible for 2,000 crooks and 20 officers or 100 officers, or I had lots of responsibility, and I loved it. I thrived on it. And then when I retired in 2017, the kids had moved out of the house in Gwanda, and she was still working. And I was left there all by myself. And between 2016 and 2020, when did we move to Gwanda? 2020?
2010.
No.
To Orchard Park.
2020.
So between 2016 and 2023, I lost 6 of the closest, and I always get emotional about it, 6 of the closest people in my life. I lost every friend I had.
Looking back, when we look at that, all those tragedies and what he's lost, it was like God took him through this journey. It's just amazing.
And for a while, I thought I could do it by myself. I really did. I thought I could stay out in Gwanda and just do it by myself. I don't need anybody. I'm a strong person. I don't need anybody. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Super wrong. So we moved to Orchard Park, and I still had 2 guys. There were still 2 guys left. And then one shot himself, and I buried the last one. He retired and got cancer, and I was basically his caregiver, and then buried him.
Yeah, we waved as we went by
Yes.
last night. I said that.
Yeah.
When we went
That's
by,
Jack's
I said to
friend.
Kristen, I said, that's Jack's friend.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
it's super hard as a wife to sit and
Yeah.
and watch your husband struggle with something that you can't help him with.
Yes.
Really hard as a wife, because I knew, first of all, I knew he had struggled after he retired. He would stay home and do nothing and
Yeah.
did nothing and was struggling. And then as his friends passed, it sometimes you just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
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 The last 2 were tough. Well, the last one, because I'd spent so much time with him, taking care of him. And then my friend David Wade, he lived, when we moved to Orchard Park, he lived like 2 miles from me. And we were talking 3, 4, 5 times a week. We were talking. We had the same interests. We were really bonding. And I talked to him on a Friday, and he killed himself Sunday night. And that's been 2 years now, I think, 2.5 years. And
Yeah, there's the thing.
that's everybody else. I miss everybody else, and I always mention their names, and I always talk about those because they meant that much to me, and I want anyone to ever forget about them. But his hurts me the most. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, because it wasn't expected. I don't even know why I said all that, but
Jack, talk to me about what you guys started to say that God worked through that for you. How did you see God in that?
losing all of them made me realize I can't do things by myself. I need people. I need him. And him, he was God. Me believing in God has like it's had its up and down. You know, I believe and then I don't believe, and I believe and then I don't believe, and I'm praying and I'm not really praying. And so I think just losing them made me realize I can't do it by myself. So enter Life Church. We're going to Life Church, and I'm making all these friends and doing all this stuff.
Meanwhile, as all of this was going on, I was praying so hard that we would find good Christian friends.
And then we went to XO, and that's where you first. Is that where we first met?
That's when I had a crush on Kevin and Kristen.
Yes, yes, she did.
Oh, we
She
love
did.
you guys.
So she started serving. That's what she started serving. So she would serve, and I was still Jack, the prison guard. So I would drop her off in the morning, and I'd sit out in the parking lot until it was time to go to church.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
know that.
I didn't like the crowds. I didn't like to be around anybody. And I don't know how long she served before I decided I wanted to serve too. But I serve Monday through Friday when there's nobody at the church. I don't have to talk to anybody. There was a transition time where Mr. Keith was leaving and young Jeremiah was coming in. And I had the conversation, especially with Jeremiah. I'm like, listen, you tell me what to do and leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'll get whatever you need. I'll do whatever you need me to do. If I mess up, let me know and I'll fix it. That was back then. I'm not like that now. I'm much different now. Much different now.
So as all of this is going on, I had a hard time adjusting to my husband who's now saved.
Oh, okay.
Because-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because when he wasn't, he was cold and harsh at times, and had a certain demeanor, and I would react in a certain way to some of the things that he would say and do, and I'm like, now I don't know how to react. Like, there was one time, this was maybe about a year ago, he said something, and I said a usual response, and he's like, wait, that hurts me. I'm trying to change. And I was like,
Right. What do I do with that?
how do I wait? I like locked up. I'm
Yeah.
like, what do I do? How do I don't.
The shoe was on the other foot. It was so funny.
I
I'm
don't
at the
even-
end of the island crying, and she's like, she doesn't know what to do. And here I am crying because she hurt my feelings. I didn't even have any feelings before that.
I'm like, but wait, you
So
are.
it's a whole new person.
Yes.
The same person, but a whole new person.
So now I have to adjust to him now, and it's really, really odd because for a long time I would be speaking about the Bible and how God works and stuff like that, and I'll come home and tell him a problem, and he's like, well, God said blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, what's happening here?
It's funny. I remember like when you guys first came to the Monday night couples groups and stuff, and Jack had to be in the corner to the back and everything. And over time, he's evolved around the room. And like
Moving around
he
the
would
table.
but literally he would sit there and not say anything and kind of be, I don't want to say angry, but just like,
That's
you know. And then we have seen like in a year and a half, we have seen him just open up and totally change. And we've got to watch both of the dynamics there. And, I think it's crazy when you go through it, but it's so good when you look at it, you know what I mean? And you can see it, or when you look back on it, it's like, wow, God just did. I mean, we say that so much about all the people. It's like, wow, look what God's doing here.
Look at the miracles we get to watch.
And when it's in your relationship,
Yeah.
it's like, but it is. It's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what to say.
Right.
I prayed for this, and now,
And now it's here.
like, what do I do? You know. So that's
And
really cool.
Whenever someone asks Jack, how are you? What's your answer?
I'm happy.
Happy.
I'm happy.
It's happy Jack.
I'm happy.
Talk to us about community, because you started to talk about you thought you could do this alone.
Oh, we both
Yeah.
were like, yes, we can't do it alone.
No, we need people. We really need people. So
Let me tell my cafe
Yeah,
story because
yes,
cafe is where I changed the most. So I was always very socially anxious, awkward, always in fear. And I thought, all right, well, God says we shouldn't do this alone. We need community. So I'm going to go to church and I'm going to serve in church. And I should be serving for God. So I'm going to serve. And if I'm scared and awkward, I'll just do it even scared and awkward. And I thought, well, cafe's the perfect place. I can go into the back in cafe and hide. Great. Sorry. I won't have to talk to anybody.
So in cafe, she serves coffee. So it's not just, you don't have to cash people out or anything. You just fill coffee, right?
But it's like the lifeblood of a Sunday morning, like
Coffee
especially
is
at 8 a.m.
the essential.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it that way. I thought it was great.
It's a
I
place
could
to hide.
She thought she could hide in the back and brew coffee, like the Tim Hortons girl in the back room.
Yeah,
Like a little barista.
but God
that way.
did something totally different. And now I'm going to get emotional because I didn't see it coming. And those women, the women at Cafe, they didn't know what they were doing, but they were healing all my old wounds. They just took me under their wing and they just loved me. And it was like, I can't even, if you had known me before, you wouldn't have even known me before because I wouldn't let you. I was that bad. And the change is just remarkable. It was like God said, all right, well, you're going to come serve me. Well, this is what I'm going to do, and I just love that because we always have our own plan and then God comes and just totally has his own way. So
It's always greater.
and I feel like now that all these changes that God makes, and he also does in our marriage, and we're like talking more, communicating more, doing more together, being more involved. And, it's hard to, really do what God wants you to do and to serve if you're not involved in community and not willing to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think the men's group, there's so many guys in that group. I sit there and I watch and I pick little pieces. I learned something from you, and I might use that, and that's going to build me. I've always been that way. I take little bits and pieces of people to build me. Something you might do, I might not like, and I won't never do it. But something Kevin does, I might grab onto that. And there's so many guys in that group, and I've been attending it pretty much for a long time now. A year and a half now, I think. I've learned so much from those, and that's part of the community right there.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to do this by myself?
Yeah.
It's like going to XO. And I even said it, I think, in the XO thing. When you work,
They were in a promo video for a conference. This is how much they were
That was so funny.
in love with the conference, which is great.
when you work for somebody, you train all year long. You're training. You're trying to become better. Trying to become better. So we did XO. I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to do that for a job that I'm getting paid for, why would I want to educate myself and increase my knowledge to be good for my wife?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That was so spot
Yeah.
on. It was like inspired.
Yeah. Well, thank
And
you. Thank you.
I feel like now, so now after all this 18 years of waiting and praying and anticipating and hope, it's like sometimes I just can't believe what comes out of his mouth sometimes. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
That's good stuff.
I love it.
That's good. But that's really, really good because, and I think it's like Jack said a little bit ago that he didn't know, you know what I mean? And when we're just in the world and going through the world and we are not in church, when we're not surrounded by believers, pretty much everything at church is opposite of the world. So how do we become a believer? And it's like, okay, God, I hear you. I want to follow you and not get involved in the community, because we don't. We're just like you said, you're not ready. You have no idea what to do. It's kind of like being in community, being in those life groups, being in that stuff. That's kind of like the boot camp that builds you up. You do that.
Yes.
And then, you always have someone ahead of you and someone behind you and someone beside you. But if you don't do it in community, like you can't do it by yourself. It just doesn't work that way. You need those others around you.
God wants to work through other people to you. Like he wants to use other people to help you. And that's one of the things I've really started to realize.
Yeah,
And he's going to use you to reach others.
absolutely.
So every single thing and every single bit of your story that you've gone through is to help others and to share with others. And you both are very unique individuals, but together you have a story. And God will use you together, Jack and Katherine, what you can't even do separate to reach others.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really one of the cool things is we do have a unique story, but it's not so unique that there's not other people going through it. We might not know them in our group. We might not know them in our immediate, but there are people who are going through the same things we've been through, have been there, that we can speak into just by sharing our story of like, I was this and now I'm this. And you know why? Because of Jesus. That's a really cool thing. We just have to be willing to share that story.
I can't remember where I heard it. I can't remember if I heard it from you or if I heard it in one of our classes or if it was from a sermon, but life is like, my life is no different than somebody else maybe 10, 15, 100 years ago. It's the same thing. And I didn't realize that. So in my mind, there was your world, okay, your Christian world. There was the real world, and then there was the world I lived in, which was prison. I mean, that's the way I separated things because even when I was working, I would talk about, well, out in the real world, this happens. But in here, it happens like this. And that's the world I lived in. And I lived in it for so long that I actually lived in it. I mean, whether inside the jail or outside at home, I was still at work all the time, constantly on edge. And then growing up, so I always say we're like two alpha males because that's how big our personalities are. We're just like two tough people, I think. But we both have big hearts. Like we know how to love, but we don't know how to accept it. I know I didn't learn that growing up, not from my father. Not that he did anything wrong, because I'll never say that. I think my parents did the best job they could possibly do, but they never taught me how to accept love.
Which is very hard when you're married.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've said, let me love you.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't say it quiet like that. Sometimes I usually yell or scream it.
That tone.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But that transitions into what we just went through. So my road is up and down. I believe, I don't believe, I'm praying, but I'm not really praying. I'm believing, but I'm not really believing. Then Katherine has to say something to the devil again, saying, hey, that's all you got? Well, he gave her cancer. Cool. So
how did the two, so now you're a believer.
Yes.
And you've got a challenge.
Yes.
So how did the two of you face arguably one of your hardest challenges yet?
Did you like that she said yet?
Yeah, well, we ignored it, right? So we knew about it. We found out about it in November, December.
Right before Christmas.
Yes, right before Christmas. But she didn't want to be the center of attention because of her cancer for the Christmas spectacular thing that they do there at the church. So she had volunteered for all five
of the Christmas services, and I was so excited. I looked forward to it. I bought T-shirts. I'm like, this is my jam. I'm doing it. And then, we have this like dark cloud, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to know right now. I mean, I just want to go and enjoy myself and enjoy this special occasion that I've looked forward to. So we didn't really tell anyone right away, and poor Jack was just like beside himself. I mean, I was okay with not telling anybody right away, but he was like really upset.
So I've been dealing with cancer in my life, around my life, for decades. The first time, this is the hard one. The first time was in the early 80s. My grandmother had breast cancer, and she had a double mastectomy and died. That was my only experience with breast cancer. So now Kath has breast cancer. And again, I've known people that have lived years, decades, 20 years with brain cancer. My dad lasted 15, 17 years. He had colon and prostate. I've had skin cancer and haven't had anything since then. I'm dealing with cancer forever, but breast cancer. I was like, oh man, my only experience, and she died. I'm like, this is not cool. This is not cool. Things are just starting to happen here, and now I'm going to lose her. So we can't say anything to anybody because she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to become center of attention. So here I am back at the sink again. And I tell Jeremiah, and this is a huge prayer thing. And I knew Jeremiah wouldn't tell anybody else. So Jeremiah, he comes up to me at the sink and he says, can I pray over you? And I'm thinking, yeah, what the hell? It can't hurt. I don't understand at that point the power of prayer.
Yeah.
Well, he prayed over me and I broke down. It was crazy. crazy. So that was the first time someone prayed over me specifically, and it opened my eyes. So there was an eye opening there.
A couple of things here, though. As a wife, sometimes I don't recognize how I affect Jack.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm on my own little island, and maybe it's just my pride or my selfishness, and I just really don't think about how my decisions affect him. So this was a really eye-opening experience for me because he was deeply affected by this, and I just didn't even think. I'm like, well, it's no big deal. I don't want to tell you what,
Right.
whatever,
Right.
And he was really affected. But God used that. He got some prayer, and it was really impactful for him. So although I kind of screwed up and didn't realize how I was affecting him, God used it in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, so I usually tell people I learned 4 lessons, right? 4 lessons from her cancer. I learned 4 lessons. I learned the power of prayer. I learned how to let people love us. Just before her surgery, a friend, Denise, came up to me and said, "Hey, I put you down on the meal train."
Meal train.
And I'm thinking, I'm in church and I'm doing my little serving thing up front of the chapel, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I don't need a meal train. We make great money. I can cook, and I don't need this. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm in church.
We
Okay,
don't
thank
need
you, Denise.
anybody.
I'm thinking, yeah, right. We don't need anybody. I'm thinking, thank you, Denise. I say to her face, thank you so much. I'm really happy. I can't wait to tell Catherine. I go home and tell Catherine, and we get into a fight about it. We actually get into a fight about it because she's like, why didn't you say no? I'm like, how am I supposed to say no?
So I felt like, we didn't need anything from anybody. We should be helping other people. But it was just another lesson that God showed us as a couple. We need to let people feed into us, and
So there's a story behind that. So we get into a fight about it, and while we're in the middle of the fight, I'm like, hey, God's talking to me. I'm like, hey, do you remember how you felt last week when we did the same thing for that other young lady? And you were in the store throwing everything that the store had in the grocery cart?
Oh, the joy that you had
Yes.
shopping for
Yes.
someone else.
And then deliver and making little gifts for their kids, and then us dropping it off. She had a smile that lasted a week. And I'm like, how can we steal their joy? So she signed up for it right then and there. She's like, yeah, this is cool. Then she spent the next 2 weeks in the bedroom, and I had to answer the door, and I had to deal with it all. So yeah, it was all cool because you're going to do it anyways. So, but it was an eye opener on how to let people love us and accept it and accept their blessings. How can we refuse somebody else's blessing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So what else did you learn?
Oh, yeah. Number 4.
Oh, was asking for prayer. Oh,
Yeah,
we were
we asked
talked
prayer.
when you talked with God.
Oh, okay.
When you
So
had to, when you had to have a talk with
So-
God.
So yeah, I had. So,
God.
I had been praying all along, but I wasn't really praying. I mean, I think I was just going through the motions because I didn't really understand how important prayer is.
So let me tell my side of this whole story first. So, going to couples group, and now that Jack and I are kind of on more of an even keel, there's an intimacy that develops and should evolve and grow. However, sometimes it's hard. You have hurts and junk, that you have to work through. So while I was going through with all this cancer nonsense, I just had a really vulnerable moment where I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. What if I'm not going to be normal after? I just had these thoughts that were not my normal thoughts, but I just had this one moment where I shared it with him, and he was just like crushed, absolutely crushed.
So she says to me, I think her exact words were like, "Am I going to be pretty enough for you?"
No.
And I knew at that moment, I said, there's nothing else I can do. I can't protect my wife. I don't know what to do here. It was really bad.
Crying so much to
I know.
me.
It was really bad. So I tuck her in. That night I tuck her in, and I stay up a little
Wait,
later.
did you guys hear that? Jack tucks me in every night. It's so sweet. It is so sweet. Yes.
Yeah. So I tuck her in, and I come back downstairs, and I'm sitting in my chair, and it's like late, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I have people I can call.
Because
but I know,
Catherine goes to bed very early because
Yes.
she gets up very early.
Yes. Catherine goes to bed usually around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and she gets up at 4. And I usually go to bed like 10, 11, whenever. So I'm thinking I could either call somebody, or I didn't really want to call anybody. I'm like crushed and I'm crying, and I'm having a conversation with God. I'm having a conversation with God, and I'm praying, and I end up ordering a bunch of these bracelets because in the one men's group that I'm in, they
Love this
talk
story.
a lot. They talk a lot about the armor of God. And one of the people one of the guys in our home group, he I think he has the tattoo actually, and he talks a lot about the armor of God in that prayer. So like I'm feeling sorry for myself and talking to God, and I get on Amazon. Everybody does that. You get on Amazon, they order like 50 of these bracelets.
Yes.
But I had a reason for ordering them, which I didn't really know at the time. I mean, I knew I wanted to order them, but I didn't know why I wanted to order them. So I ordered them, and I've been wearing it ever since, off and on. But the next morning, after talking to God and praying to God, the next morning I woke up and I was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. I mean, I guess I do know how it happened,
Right.
but I wasn't feeling hopeless anymore.
Yeah.
And then I think she had her surgery 2 days later. That was on a Wednesday,
But
and you had your surgery
God
Friday.
took that moment where I was willing to open up and be vulnerable and to be able to share something with you so that we can. And he took it and he did this like awesome thing with you. And that was like a really great moment.
Yeah.
And so then she had her surgery that Friday, and her sisters came in on Monday, and everything was hunky-dory because she had woman issues that I couldn't, if you tell I mean, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you tell somebody, am I going to be pretty enough for you? Like, I can't help you answer that question, because I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely, but you are not going to believe that. You need to talk to your big sister, and the big sister, Lori, came in on that Monday and saved the day. Thank you, Lori. Made it so much nicer.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
You were like relieved though.
Yes.
You had a house full of women.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I had
I'm like, oh.
I had a mom and I had
I
two
know, I
sisters all
remember.
with
It
her,
was-
and it was fantastic.
He was off the hook.
She
Kevin.
she really needed women.
I mean, I
She
stopped
didn't
by
need
there. I
me.
don't know if it was off the hook. There was a lot of women.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I remember. I think the worst I remember was it those baptisms, wasn't it? And you were in the back, and you were all the way in the back, and the place was full, and you were all the way at the end of the row, and you said, "What if I'm going to be alone with Catherine? What if I'm going to be alone?" And that was like, wow, you were. That was a rough day.
Yeah,
it really was, and it was like that you had been Happy Jack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And had a big front. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
but that
no.
day it was just like, wow.
At sometimes that cancer stuff really knocked me for a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really was. And then, and I remember we were at the hospital and stuff when she was in surgery and stuff. And you were good until it was like getting a little later.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah, and that was phenomenal. And that was Life Church. That was people from Life Church. There was a man. I'm not allowed to say their name, right? So
Yeah.
John, Jay Schneider.
No, you've already dropped
Yeah,
everybody
right.
else's
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Poor Jay.
Yeah, so Jay, that dude was there before we were.
yeah.
Yeah.
That dude was waiting at the hospital for us. He was at the hospital before we were
Yeah.
to wait for us. So she goes into surgery, and we had 6 of you guys came. I think there was 5 of us. You guys stayed there with me all day. It was like from 9 o'clock, I think, till 7 was by the time I
Yeah.
could go
Late.
back
It was a
there.
long
It was
day.
late. It was like 6 or 7, and you guys just waited. And I've never had anything like that in my life. I've never had
God
anybody care
placed
for me.
my cousin in the
OR?
surgery room.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
do you
Yeah,
remember
I
that?
forgot about that. I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that came out and told us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Well-
a super hard thing to have to go through, but as a couple, God did so many good things through this. I mean, we could talk all night long about how God showed up every step of the way and how we've like struggled through something really hard together, and it was like, yeah, look at us.
And
But I think that's the huge part, though, the together part. Because a lot of times when you face things like this, you kind of withdraw inside, and it's like, well, I can take care of this. And maybe you don't, sometimes it's maybe I don't want to put the burden on the other person. And sometimes it's like, well, I don't think they can do anything anyway, so I'm just going to face
But that
this
was a good
myself.
point that Catherine had. Even in her own internal, God used that
Yeah. Yeah.
to turn
Open that
around.
communication
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
And when we tell people, now we prayed through the whole thing. Obviously, we're learning how to pray here. At least I am, and we're praying through the whole thing. We, as a couple, never prayed for her health. We prayed that someone would see us, how we handle it, and that would bring them closer to God.
Wow,
They
that's
would
good.
see us as an example, and it would inspire them.
Yeah.
We
awesome.
never, we had people all over the country, because she's got family all over the place. We had people all over the country praying for us. But we, as a couple, we never prayed for her health. We prayed that someone else would use us, see us as an example, and it would help them in their future, whatever.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, no matter what we do, it all should give glory to God.
Yes.
So even as, bad things happen.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with it? You're going to deal with it. You're going to look to the Bible and see how everybody else dealt with hard problems, and you're going to deal with it and give glory to God. So
Yeah.
Amen.
When you were
So
out on
good.
your walk, what did you hear? You have to tell that story.
Okay, I'll tell that story.
Yeah.
So, the day after we found out, it was a Saturday morning, and I was sitting on the couch, and Jack came down the stairs, and he can just tell I don't have a poker face. He could tell something was wrong, and he says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Nope, I'm not okay. Nope, I am not okay." So I got up, and I was walking laps around the yard with the dogs, and I just started sobbing. I was at, like, I feel like my lowest point ever, and I was sobbing, and I was just sobbing in the yard. And a voice said, "Why are you crying? It's just a sickness." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I continued walking, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. It's just a sickness." And I'm like, "Okay, God, well, if this is just a sickness, if I'm going to die from this, how do I live my life knowing I'm going to die? That's really hard." And then I thought, well, about the disciples. The disciples knew they were going to die, and what did they do? They did the will of the Father. Jesus knew he was going to die. He did the will of the Father. And that's when I started to pray. I'm like, all right, my job here is to do the will of the Father, no matter what happens, until, and so that other people see Jesus. And then I came inside, and Jack and I had a conversation about it. Like, this is what we do. We, no matter what, something bad's happening, we do the will of the Father, and let's pray for other people's faith that they see God through this, and and that's how we do it. So that was a big deal.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So how are you guys today?
We're good.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Cancer free. For now. Whatever.
No cancer.
Yep.
cancer.
So we have a date night. It's usually Friday night.
Love
Which
that.
Yes.
Which we're like crashing tonight.
Yeah,
That's
we're
okay.
We're doing like a double date night.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, because Friday night's our date night too.
And we had yummy dinner to start, so it was all good.
Yes.
So your date night consists of
Usually Kath will come home from work, depending on, because I don't work. I'm unemployed. She'll come home from work.
Retired.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever.
Same thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing. She'll come home sometime between, say, 2 and 4. As soon as she comes home, kind of kick back for a couple minutes, and then we shut off all our electronics. We turn our phones off. I really recommend that to a lot of people, but it also has to come with a disclaimer. I've lost 2 people in my life while we had our phones off. But there
Really?
was nothing. Yes, my nephew
lost.
passed away,
oh, okay,
and no one could get a hold of us. And then my friend killed himself.
Okay,
But in the big picture of things, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing you can do to help them. So what's the big deal if your phone's off? I ended up talking to both those families, and one was my nephew, and then my buddy's wife the next morning. And again, there was nothing I could do. But for us, it's wonders. It's wonders. We try to do something. We try to do something fun, whether it's play cards or go for a walk or go for a bike ride, or sometimes we just talk. Sometimes we do watch movies.
sometimes you jump on a podcast.
Yes, yes. Sometimes we jump on a podcast.
So when he first had this idea, let's turn our phones off, I was like, okay, like, what are we going to talk about? We live together. What, like, what are we even going to have to talk about? And I have to say, I wasn't as serious about it, or I didn't realize how serious it was for him. He really wanted to do this bad. And a couple of times I forgot to turn off my phone. And he was like, well, if you're not going to really do this, it's not going to work. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's serious. All right, I need to, take this more seriously. So now I know he's, turn my phone off. This is important to him and stuff like that. And it forces us to talk. When your phone's not on, it forces us to, not that we avoid each other, but we get into some deep conversations and I beat him in cards all the time. I mean, what's not to like there,
Yeah.
You
guys have not played cards with us.
Not yet.
I love playing
Not yet.
cards. Okay.
I will say this, the one thing I remember when we were part of that one group, and that night that the Batterson book asked that question of like, when's the last time you had a real cover? Tell that story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not telling the whole story. So one person said, meaningful conversations was the topic. And someone had said, well, do you actually have a meaningful conversation? Or how often do you have a meaningful conversation with your spouse? And people were surprised that Kevin and I do have meaningful conversations a bit, daily-ish, I'd say, like often. So I think that's so good because people don't realize that so many people don't have meaningful conversations with their spouse. They just talk about the mechanics of the day. Who's picking this up? Who's doing this? Who's doing this?
Yeah,
What's for
that's
dinner?
a great idea to just be able to, it's awkward silence or we're going to talk about something. And,
I was one of those
the more you do it, the more it, like,
The
those
easier it
conversations
becomes.
just flow,
Right.
in time.
I don't know if it's a sermon. I don't know if it's a sermon or something in your group that we've heard, but we are intentional. I try to be intentional. Like I think of things that we're going to do, and I'm intentional that we do it. Like turning our phone off. I'm intentional about that. I make sure it happens. So in the morning, she usually has like an hour drive to work. Not every morning, but sometimes. So what I do now is to help her get through with that because I'm unemployed. I wait for her to get on the throughway, and then I'll give her a call and I'll read the devotional to her. And sometimes I'll read her devotional to her and then we'll talk about it. Sometimes we talk for an hour and a half. We're like teenagers. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how it happened, but it happened.
That's awesome.
So we're getting a little pray action in there, and a little conversation.
Pray action.
Absolutely. It's
love
crazy.
Getting the vertical right and the
Yeah.
horizontals following.
Yes.
Well, every day you're so busy, you go through these superficial conversations where, okay, what are we having for dinner? And this has to be done, and that happened to me today, and this, and and there has to be a moment in time where you talk about your dreams, your desires, what you hope for, where you see yourself in 5 years, all those great, exciting things that, if you got to make time for it.
And that's good that you do. I mean, that's a great idea to make time for it. Because what's the biggest I don't have time. I don't have time to have that conversation.
Right.
And you make
Or
time
what
for
do we
what's
say?
important.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, if you're intentional about, especially beginning, like, okay, we're going to talk about this. And like, just both of you think through the week. I got one thing we're going to talk about. And if both of you come with one thing, it starts a conversation and you build on that. But it's that intentionality, like you said. It's like you just got to make the time. Like we never have time to do everything, but we have time to do the things that are important.
Want some fun questions?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, those are hard ones.
All right, then we'll start with Jack.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Okay, I'm good with that.
My soul just left my body.
What's the best gift that Katherine ever gave you?
Oh, that one is tough. She's really a terrible gift giver.
Oh, hey, you have something in common with my wife.
The truth of the matter is that Jack is really hard to buy for.
That is true.
Oh, see?
That is
Same
true.
thing.
And he won't let me love him, so there's
Yeah,
that.
that's
My wife
true.
gave me
That's
wonderful
true.
binoculars for my birthday. The best gift she ever gave
He
me.
picked it out and ordered it.
Oh, that's easy.
But right, that is easy. But I didn't want to ask you that question because he bought you a house.
Yes. Really,
What if she said,
Yeah, that should have been good enough. I didn't have to buy her an engagement ring, right?
I
didn't
mean, you
have
still
to.
need a ring.
No, I bought a house. Doesn't that show you I love you?
But
Let
the
me
ring
tell
is
you
a symbol.
something recent that Jack just gave me, and it wasn't something physical, it was a thought.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
So back when we had this house, I bought myself a hammock. I had always wanted a hammock.
yeah.
Always wanted a hammock. And back then, in that point in my life, I was paying off my student loans. I didn't always have money, and I loved that hammock. So the other day we were sitting together and Jack asked me, he's like, well, do you want another hammock? I know your hammock is gone and I know you really loved it. And I said, no, I don't want another hammock. And I told him, I said, you know what, I really loved that hammock because it was the first thing I bought for myself that I actually had money to buy that I wanted.
Aw.
And that's a big step,
Yeah.
and that's why I loved that hammock so much is because of that. And that was like, we had like a moment,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
cool. That's
Yeah.
deep.
I'm still trying to think about the gift. It's so hard to answer the question like that because we don't really celebrate like Christmas. I mean, we celebrate those kind of things, but if we need something or we want something, we usually buy it for each other anyways. So
What's your love language?
Mine?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably serving.
Ask all
could do
the
a whole
hard
another
questions.
podcast.
I bet it is service.
Kristen's hard
It's got to
question.
be service because that's what I do all the time.
Yeah.
Service and protecting. That's what I do.
Service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go on a trip? Like one place, anywhere in the world.
We just talked about the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to the Grand Canyon to the east and go down to Letchworth, and it's a lot closer.
We've never been there yet
You've
either.
never, you lived like,
Listen, I was too scared and afraid to do anything.
you lived so
Yes.
close.
We went to
I
Deer
know.
Lake Park and got lost like 4 hours.
We
one time.
got
Thought we
lost
were gonna
in Deer
die.
Lake Park.
I thought we were gonna die.
You're going to die.
We thought we were gonna die.
The great protector thought he was going to die in a
Listen,
park.
she says, let's go for an hour hike. We were out there for 4 hours with no food, no water, no direction.
Been there,
it was
done that.
wet, rainy, and cold.
Been there, done that with
I was angry.
With how many little girls did I have? 5 little girls I
Yeah.
did that with.
I did not like it at all.
Okay. So then I'll ask both you, and this will be the last one. So we asked this, I think it was to Carol and Gus. If each of you could follow around one person for a day, who would it be?
Oh,
Living or dead.
Well, if they're dead, they're not doing much.
right.
I mean,
If you went back in time.
Oh, boy.
All right.
I don't even know. I honestly, I wouldn't know. I guess if it was even somebody from the past, it'd probably be something like Abraham Lincoln for me. It's like
I felt
really
like
weird,
that was.
but that's
you go
yeah.
stop the bullet.
Yeah, I could stop that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I could do that.
You pick out the day too?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
could do
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I was kind of thinking my dad because my dad passed
Oh, yeah.
7 years ago before he got to see Jack.
Happy Jack.
Yes. And I would love for him to follow us around.
Yeah.
And to
see the
see-
difference.
yeah.
To have one more day. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, one more day.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We love you guys so much.
Absolutely.
We love you too.
And
We'll
maybe
do
this
this
will
again.
be the first of many.
All right.
It took us this long to get them on, so.
Yep.
Well, we
We
were
have
a little
stories
nervous,
galore.
but this was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll
Next
love
Friday.
it. All right.
Episode 2. All right, guys. Have a good week. Marriage in the Butt podcast. Like it, share it. Have a great week. Bye.
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 Bye.